So in the last session we discussed about set. Look here, as you can see, this was all about add set, and I just changed the name of the class while implementing like linked hash set and tree set. This was about the last session, and here you can look linked hash set, a hash set and tree set. This example we have did, and so we shall go for the next interface. Look, I like to share a picture here. Look here, in the iterable collection interface we have three main things in collection interface, which are these three are collection, list, queue and set. These three are interface. Collection is also interface implemented by iterable interface. And the green objects what you are seeing, these are all class. In set we had hash set, linked hash set and tree set. So these three examples you came across in the last session, and today's session we are going to see list, in which it has three classes: array list, linked list, vector and stack. And this vector is no longer used by the Java developers, but you should know that vector is one of the class in list. You might even get examples for vector, but in the real-time applications we have ended using this vector class. So I will show the examples about array list, linked list and stack in today's class. We shall move for Eclipse. So here I'll create a package, list collections example, new package, list collections example. So this is my package, and the first example what I am going to do is about array list. How you are going to create an array list, how you are going to access the elements in it. So here the package has been created. Inside this package I am going to create a new class. So the class name is array list example. So let me have my main method. So this is how you create a class of array list, and here how you are going to create an array list. In the previous class you just know about the set, how you have created the set using this thing set and the name for the object and new linked hash set. And here for the array list we are going to do the same, but here I'll be doing for numbers, so that you can get to know like different data types, integer and string. So here I am going to use list. So this is the list, and here you are going to give the data type which will be integer. Today's example for list will be numbers, and for hash set I have used string. As you can see here I have used string. I am going to use second example for string. For now I'll just use integers. So this is the integer, and here I'm going to give the name for my list. So the list what it contains, I'm going to give it a name as LIS. Okay, I'll give the small letter list. This is the object name. This name can be anything. Now I'm going to write new so I'm going to implement this array list. So this is the example, and here you can see error because you have to import list, which is given by the Java compiler. Now once if I import it, you can see I have imported the list, and here still you can see error. You have to import the array list too. So this is not the thing. I have to import the array list, which will be like new array list. Look here, this is the thing. You have to import the list interface first, which I showed in the image. Then you are going to make use of the three classes what it is present. So this is how you create it. And here in this parenthesis I am going to mention the size of the list. So here I am going to give 5, so that it should contain only 5 numbers there. So this is 5, and now I'm going to create the list for that using the for loop. So as I said, you have to go through the core Java where I have used for loop, and here I'm going to initialize a variable I is equals to 0, I less than 5, because that is my array list length, I less than 5, and it's going to iterate I plus plus, and here I'm going to write list dot add. So this is how you are going to add your list. So here every time the number increments, I am going to add the number. So if I run this, my list will be ready. This is for numbers. If you do for integers, take it as an assignment and try to do that. So here, well, I have to print the list, right? Sorry for that, I have to print out the list. So what I have to show, what is this list? This list is the new object what I'm going to create a new array list, and inside this I'm going to add 5 elements. How I'm able to add 5 elements? Using the for loop. So when I is equals to 0 till the length 5, I am going to add. Now if I check my list, it will be contained with 5 elements. As you can see, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, it has 5 elements starting from 0. If I make this length till 10, I am able to see numbers from 0 to 9. Look here, you are able to see numbers from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. How you are going to get these numbers? You have to go through my core Java session where I have used the for loop. Now this list is containing 10 elements. So 10 elements is too big a number, so I'll just make 7 elements. So I should be able to see numbers from 0 to 6. Right, now you have this list. Now you want to change the number of this list. Now you have a list which contains 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now in place of 3, you have to replace a number in your list. So how you are going to do that? You have inbuilt methods in array list. So list dot set is the method, and here you have to mention the index what you want to change. So what is the index of 3? 0, 1, 2, 3. So the index is 3, and in place here the second parameter should be what you want to replace. I want to replace it with 101. Now if I check my list, SYSOUT, this is for replacing. Now if I check my list, when I check my list, when it got created, I have these values using the for loop. Now in place of 3, I need 101. How I am going to modify it? I am going to modify it by list dot set. This list is this object. This name can be whatever you are going to write. I am giving list because it makes some sense. The naming conventions are relevant. Now if I run my example, look here now, 0, 1, 2, and here in place of 3 you have replaced it 101, then 4, 5, 6. So this is how you replace a object in your list. Suppose you need something else here, like you need only 99, that is also possible. The first parameter is at what index you want to change. The second parameter, the value you have to change. Look now, 99. So this is about array list, and you can even remove the elements. Now if I go here, you can remove it by using your object name dot remove method, and here you have to mention the index what you want to remove. Suppose I want to remove 5. What is its index? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I place my index 5, remove, and then if I check my list, how you are going to check the list? Using sysout, and I'm going to ask. Now if I run my example, look now here, the third example, 0, 1, after removing here, after adding 99, after modifying this example, I am going to comment it at the top. After replacing, this was the new list, and here after removed. So after the index 5 have removed the value, look here, there is no 5 here in the list once I use list dot remove. So these are all the methods what you can make use of your array list. And now If you want to get the size, like how many elements are present, you are going to use it by list dot size, and you are going to place it in SYSOUT, because you have to print the size, right? This method will only allow you to know the size, but you have to read it, right? For that to be in console, we have to write sysout. Now if you check your list, the size, look, it is showing 6. How many values present? 0, 1, 2, 3. These 3 and these 3. And here if I make this 8, my array size gets increased. Now it should be able to show 7 elements, because I added one number extra. Look, now it is 7. So this is all about array list, guys. And one more thing you can use, you have to sort it. Now suppose you have an array and that array contains multiple values. Now you have to sort it out. Look, now you have modified the middle name with 99, 0, 1, 2, 99. Here it should be come, but you should be making sorted, like 99 should be the last. Even though you have modified it, you want to show the list like is an ascending order. How you are going to do that? You are going to do that using collections.sort. This is an inbuilt method given by Java compiler, dot sort, and inside this you have to place what it should be sorted. So this is the list, right? So I'm going to sort this list. Now if I check my list, it will be sorted. I'll check my list. Look, now 0, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7. So 99 is the largest number, which is at the last. So this is all about array list, guys. The first class of the list, which is array list, this is all about the array list. Anyone having any doubts and queries here? Shrikant and Saraswati, you got the concept of array list? Yeah, what about you, Deepa? I think you missed the last class for the hash set. It would have been easy for you if you have joined the last session. You got about array list, Deepa? So this was about array list. Now we shall move for the linked list. So I will go here and I will create a new example for linked list. New class, and here linked list example, and here I'm going to create a new method. And here how you are going to create the linked list? Like the list itself, you have to import list, and you are going to write the string data type. Here I won't be using numbers, I'll be using the strings. Here again I'll give the name as list, new linked list. So this is the thing what I have used. And how you are going to add elements? Now look here, if you check out your list right now, if you check your list, it will be empty because you have not added anything. If you check in the console, once you run your application, look here, it is showing an empty. Now I am going to add things inside this list. So I'm going to write list dot add. This is how you add. So here I will add the first character A, and I'll add 3 elements, or else I'll add 5. One more, A, B, X, Y, and here I'll make it D. And now I'll check my array, which is like this linked array list. Well, I have to place the list once after I add it. Look, at the beginning my list was empty, I didn't add anything. Once I started adding these things and in my checklist, these are all things that got into my linked list. And you might wonder, sir, this is the same. There you have used numbers and here you have used string. Other than this, if you guys want to know the difference between array list and linked list, is that array list we will be using to store the data and get the data. Linked list we will be using to manipulate the data. Look here, I have used the method here to modify it. Here also you can modify it. Now how you are going to modify? Here, there you have used the set method where you are in the index 3 you replaced it with 99. Here you are going to replace it with two parameters, list dot add. So if you use this, and in place of, look here, a b, in place of x, if you want to make y, first you have to give the index. So what is the index of x? 0 1 2. So 2 is the index, and what you have to replace? You have to write the value. So in place of index 2 I want C, and now I am going to check my list, SYSOUT, and here I am going to check my list. And once if I run my application now, look, now at first it was empty. This is the first line. Look here, at first my list was empty. After adding elements, and this after replacing. So you have three outputs: empty, after adding, and after replacing. Look here, in the x place you have got C. And one more thing you have to observe, this x is right here, but C has been added, but here you just replaced it using set method. In place of 3 you got 99, but in linked list example, in index 2 you are making C. If you make it 0, look, this C what you are seeing here, once if I run, C will be the first. Now if you run, look here, C is the first. So if you want to replace an employee there, you are going to use array list, and if you want something to be at the first and the last or in between, you are going to use linked list. So there may be a question in your interview about Java, like what are the differences between array list and linked list. The main example what you want to say is that array list we use to store the data and get the data. Linked list we use it for manipulating the data. If you say this example, when the question is asked, he will be like, you know something in collections, you are good in collections. So this is the main question you are going to get in your interview. What is the difference between array list and linked list? Array list is there you can get data or replace data. Here you are manipulating the data, and you still have methods. You can remove too. You are going to use list dot remove, and here you are going to mention the index. So here I am going to take the y index 0 1 2 3. If I mention 3, now I have removed from the list. Now I am going to check my list after removing list, and here I will comment it as after removing. It's the same from array list. The only thing is that you are able to manipulate the data. Look, now the x has been removed, which is like 3, right? 0 1 2. You can see here 2 3 is y. No, 3 is not y, because I have added one more item. So here 0 1 2 3 is x. Now when I ask list dot remove 3, 0 1 2 3, this x has been removed. So after removing, my list was C A B Y D. And one more thing, you have another method, like here in the array list you have no option to remove the first item or the last item. You can remove one item by giving the index, but here we have inbuilt method to remove the elements. List dot remove first. So here I have to make this as a linked list to use its functionality. Look, now if you extend this linked list, now you have the option list dot remove first. Now if you check your list, now if I check my list, the first item C will be removed. Look, now I'll run my application. As you can see, no C is here. Even though you have not mentioned any parameters, C has been removed when you have invoked the function remove first. Now I'll use the same functionality to remove the last. Remove last. And now if I run my application, look here D was the last, and here after removing the last, no D. So this is what you call manipulating the data, but these functionalities cannot be invoked here. Look here, if you go here and if you make remove last, it will give you error. Here you can only add and delete, you cannot manipulate the data. But here in the linked list you are able to manipulate the data. So this is all about. And you have add first too. Look, now here in your array you have A, B, Y. Now if I want to add at the beginning, I can add. How that? List dot add first, and here if I write the value here, I am going to write M, and now I'll check my list. SYSOUT, and here I'm going to check my list. Now you can see M will be added at the first. Now I'll be having 4 values, where now the new list here, what it comes after printing, M will be at the first. Look here, M is at the first. So this is all about linked list example. Once again I'm telling you, array list and linked list are both classes implemented by list interface, and the difference between them is that array list we used to store and get the value of the objects present in it, but linked list we use to manipulate the data present in the list. So this is the difference. Any doubts regarding linked list? So we shall move to the next concepts. As I said, array like stack, you have vector and stack, and vector is no longer used by the developers, but you should know there is a vector which is of a class in list. You should know that. Even though if you are not using something, it doesn't mean that you have not know that. You have to know that. There might be a question on vector. As you can say, if in interview if they ask the question, you can say that vector has been stopped using by the Java developers. And if they ask why, because there is an alternate solutions instead of using vectors, because vector may cause performance issues. That is why it is going to get replaced. Now as you can see, vehicles are replaced with electric vehicles. Why? Because the petrol vehicles will be like have to get a service for the vehicle every now and then, but for electric it's not the case. Once you buy it, there is no like this, there will be update, right? And so for the vector we have an update, so we'll be not using the vector, but vector is present in list. These things you have to know. So I'll go for the stack. New class stack example. Just hold on for a second. Getting a call. Hold for a second, guys. Yeah, now we shall dive into the stack. Sorry for that interruption. I had one call. And how stack is different from those two. So for creating stack, it is the same. I'm going to use the string data type. Stack. My system might take some time. Stack, and I'm going to use the data type string, and here I have to give the object name, and object name I'll be using stack or like star is equals to new stack. And once you write this code, you have to import it. Import stack. So now the error has been removed once you import it. So you have to import from util, java.util, whatever you need, and here in the linked list you are able to see import java.util linked list. You have to import it. If you don't know to import, look, if you cannot find this code, it will throw you error, and you can click on it and it will ask you for a quick fix, and here in the quick fix it gives the option import stack. Then if you click on it, stack will be imported. Now I'll check my stack, which is of a list. I'm going to check. Now it should be empty. I'm going to check the star. The star is this object name what I have created a new stack list. Now if I run, look here, it is empty now, and I'm going to add, and here you cannot use add, you must add push, and here I'm going to add country name. So here I'll add America. So I'll add 4 elements into my stack list. 1 2 3 4, and here second one let it be India, third one let it be Netherlands, and fourth one let it be Germany. Now I'm going to check my stack list, SYSOUT stack list, and now if I run my application, look, you are able to see the list of the elements added into my stack list, and here I'll write it before adding elements, and here after adding elements. And what's the use of this stack list is that you have 2 options, like you are going to use push, pop and peek. These 3 methods can be only used in the stack list. And what are all these 3 methods? We shall look into it. Now I'm going to use the object dot pop, P-O-P, pop. Here I will be assigning any variable. Now once if I, then I'm going to check my stack list, stack, and now if I run my example, look here, Germany has been removed. So this pop method we used to remove the last element of a stack list, and this pop method cannot be used in array list and linked list. So what stack list does is that it has functionalities push to add, pop to remove, and only the last element can be removed. And if you want to know what element has been removed, you can do it like SYSOUT, and if you use it here inside this, and now if you run it, whatever the element that was popped out, it will show you. Look here, Germany is at the last and Germany was popped out. Once when I use pop method, this is the new array you are going to get. And now I will add a new element here, star dot push. Can anyone tell me any country name now? Any one of you out of 4? Any country name? Anyone name me a country? Guys, just give me a name of a country.
Russia.
So now I'll add Russia. So now I have 5 elements. So at the beginning it was empty, and when I added America, India, Netherlands, Germany, Russia, after adding, now I have used the pop, which means the last element will be removed. So Russia will be removed. So it tells you what it has been removed only when you use println statement. So this is pop, the last element, but if you use it, it will remove the last element. But if you want to know, there are like 1000, you cannot count, but you want to fetch the last method, but you don't want to delete it. Now you are able to fetch the last element using the pop, but while fetching this element, it is also deleting that element, right? Shrikant, you can see, right? It is also fetching the last element, but while fetching, it is also deleting that element, right? But instead of pop, if we use peek method, it will fetch you the last element, and the last element will not be deleted. Look here, Russia is the last element, and after I check using the peek method, Russia is still here. I'll add one more country. Stand on, push, and here I'm going to add Dubai. And now if I see, yeah, console is become a little bit. It was empty first, then I added elements America, India, Netherlands, Germany, Russia, Dubai, and using the peek method I am able to fetch the last last object, and even after fetching the last object is still present here. But instead of this peek, if I make it pop, I am able to fetch the last method, but it also deletes it. Look here, here the last element was Dubai. So once after knowing the last element using the pop method, it has been removed from my list. So this is about stack. Stack is all about push, pop and peek, and linked list is all about manipulating the data, and array list is all about storing and fetching the data. So these are all the three things related to list. So in tomorrow's class we are going to see queue, the another interface, and we have map, tree map and hash map. We shall look into it, but tomorrow we shall look into queue, which is like another interface in collections. The three main set of interfaces in collection is that list, map, not map, list, set and queue. Set, it has been done, and now list has been done, only queue is pending. And once after the queue we will be having tree map and hash map, the map methods. We shall look into it in tomorrow, day after tomorrow's session. So for today, this was all about list interface, which has 4 classes: array list, linked list, tag and vector. And vector example I will show in the future classes. Right now it has been ignored, it will be ignored right away, but even though I will show the example in the coming classes where I will be taking enumeration, because using the enum, which stands for enumeration, there we will be using vector example. So for now you just ignore the vector class, where it is not been used by the developers as of now. Now the JDK what we have been using is like almost 17 or 18, but from Java 5 it has been stopped. Vector class, making use of it, it has been stopped. So I will show the vector, but not for now, but when I take enumeration. So for now, as I am considered, you get to know about set, which has hash set, linked hash set, tree set, and list. You know about array list, linked list and stack. So the only pending thing is about queue, and we have hash map and tree map, which is a completely different collection, which has key value pair. So if you have any doubts regarding today's session, you can ask me about array list, linked list and stack, and I am happy to explain for you guys again if you have any queries, or else we shall meet tomorrow doing the examples for queue. Look, this theoretical part, right, I am not doing too much, because when I say theoretically, you might get little bit of difficult to understand. That's why directly I am going for the practical. So in the practical, if you get to know the difference, then you will know how it is working. So don't worry about the theoretical part. Once you know about this practical part, right, you are able to answer the interview. You can read the theory part anywhere from the Google, but the practical part, to understand how it works, it will be little bit difficult for you as you guys are a beginner. So I always directly go into the examples more than giving you explanation about theoretically. So if you have any doubts regarding array list, I mean the list interface, you can ask me. Guys, you do have any doubts regarding list interface? What about you, Deepa and Saraswati? Yeah, okay, then we shall end it for today. Look, I'm making a little bit of concept because I want to make you guys to understand bit by bit. I can do all these three interfaces in a single day, but you might wonder everything are similar. Then you will not get to know the difference. So each day practice each thing. Friday was about set. If you have practiced set well enough, you are able to answer interview questions and you are able to practice. And today was all about list. Practice list today completely. You have to make it bit by bit so that you can get to know everything. If you try everything at once, you can learn nothing. So tomorrow we shall look into queue interface and hash map and tree map. So everyone have a great evening. We shall meet tomorrow. Bye everyone.